fight? Are we still in love? Why it stay alright, baby? Can we still try? Tell me that we'll be fine. Are we still in love?
Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of the BB Series, where you come to get the facts, sip, and relax, baby. I hope you guys are having an amazing day, and happy Black History Month, muffos. How y'all doing? We celebrating blackness and everything that revolves around Black love, Black energy, Black women. Hello, you're watching one right now. Yeah, I hope you guys are having an amazing day. Thank you guys so much for, again, watching the show, sticking with me, and letting me know what you guys think. Remember to comment, share, like, and subscribe. All right, let's jump right into the ish, all right? Because today's topic, we're going to be talking about the Black female image. Okay, we're talking about body image, especially in media. And for me, I mainly wanted to pose this question because I just feel like as a Black woman, I'm kind of expected to have a voluptuous body. I'm expected to behave a certain way. I'm expected to be sexualized. I'm expected to be sexy 25/8, especially because I'm African as well. It's just like that perceived notion of like, oh, if you're a Black woman, you should have curves, you should have a certain demeanor to you, you should look a certain way. And for me, I'm just like, why is it that for Black women we have to look a certain way, meanwhile every other race is allowed to be free and have their freedom? Like, I don't see white women getting the same kind of sexual pressure that we Black women face on a daily basis, especially in media, especially in TV shows, especially in hip-hop. Hip-hop, number one. Like, I don't think I've seen a female rapper not be pressured into having a big butt, into having big boobs, into having a really tiny waist, like just not being pressured to get a BBL. Like, especially if you live in Atlanta, baby, everybody's a walking BBL. Miami, walking BBL. You know what I mean? So I just feel like, why can't Black women be allowed to just explore our sexuality and own our sexuality and have our own sexuality without it being forced or pressured by the male gaze? And y'all know me, like I said before, you come to the BB show to get the facts, sip, and relax. So let's get right into the facts. Let's jump right into the facts, okay?
Yeah, get into it.
This quote is from a book called Double Burden, called Black Women and Everyday Racism. Okay. The negative depiction of Black women as domineering matriarchs or exotic sexual objects was created and still is perpetuated by white, usually white male, social scientists, and even a few Black male social scientists trained by the images of hypersexuality and overbearingness, often merged to symbolize the Black woman. So for those that do not know, I'm gonna give you a quick, like I said, it's Black History Month, so we're gonna get into the tea, all right? When I was a junior in college, I took a Black sexualities course, and that course changed my life. But that course, I learned about the fact that when it came to one of the main reasons why Black women, we have this certain image about us when it comes to our sexuality and why we aren't exactly to really have freedom to be sexual any which way we want, is because of slavery. Because a lot of the time, for white women, during that time, they were viewed as innocent, pure, and for these slave owners, they felt like the things that they wanted to do, their most vile and disgusting, nasty sexual things that they wanted to do, they couldn't do it to their pure white wives. They felt they could do it to their Black female slaves. So a lot of the time, Black women were sexualized, which is why you have the creation of the mulatto baby, or the tragic mulatto, for those that don't know. It's basically a biracial child. And because so many slaves were raped by their owners or sexualized by their owners, it just created this stigma that Black women are just meant to be seen as sexual objects. Like, even to this day, that's why I always say, like, don't ever say racism or like slavery is over, because it's not. Because still this day, we are still witnessing the effects of slavery. And one of the main effects is the way Black women are viewed in media. We are expected to just be sexualized. We don't have the freedom to just be ourselves. And even if we wanted to be ourselves, it's like, ew, what kind of Black girl are you? Like, I've literally had white men speak to my Black friends who, you know, date outside their race, and a lot of these white men would question the Black woman, like, oh, you're not the typical kind of Black girl I expected. You're not Black enough. And it's like, to you, what does being Black look like? I'm meant to be sexy all the time. I'm meant to have a big butt, meant to have big boobs, meant to want to get down and dirty and crazy. Like, I remember when I was in Australia, and I kid you not, that was what made me delete Tinder for the rest of my life. I was in Australia at the beginning of last year, so it's like the middle of it. And my friends and I were just like, you know what? My friends already had Tinder, and I was like, I don't really want to go back on that app because I just feel like it's really toxic for my mental health. So I was like, fine. I made a bet with them, like, fine, I'll do it for 1 week, and then that's it. I did it for 1 week. And the kind of person I am to, like, I don't mind dating outside my race. I just ask that you be respectful. Like, that's just common sense and dignity that I ask for. And I matched with this one dude who was Asian. And I was like, cool. And I kid you not, his message to me goes, I've never tried a Black girl before.
No ma'am. No ma'am. No ma'am. No ma'am.
And I'm like, you have never tried a Black girl before. Is that meant to be like a badge of honor? Like, what? I was like, okay. I was like, that's nice. And he just continues to go on to sexualize me. And he's like, oh, I heard you Black girls get wild. I want to taste the chocolate. I want to be on the dark side.
I beg your pardon?
And I'm like, are you dumb? Are you daft, babe? Have you lost your mind? No? Because you're acting real stupid. But whatever. So, of course, after that, I should have, I didn't even reply. I just deleted my account for the rest of my life. But, that's the experience that, as a Black woman I face, is that over-sexualization just from every which way. And one of the sad things is that, Black women, we are represented for the white male gaze, and that has also translated to it being perpetuated by Black men as well. There's nothing that a Black woman can do that would just be for Black women, especially when it comes to the music industry, especially when it comes to the movie industry. We are expected to look a certain way to please white men, and then after that please Black men. And it's really freaking disgusting, and it's frustrating. The sad and the worst part about this entire thing is that because Black women are expected to have the big butts and the tiny waist, and if you don't have it, you're expected to get a BBL. And I'm not saying, by the way, I'm not saying that if you want to get a BBL, it's a bad thing. If you're doing it for you and your confidence and it's all about you, go for it. I'm all about making yourself happy. But if you're doing it for the gaze of a male, it ain't gonna work, baby girl, because they change their opinions faster than they change girls. Okay, it's not gonna work that way. But if you're doing it for yourself, then girl, all to you. But when it comes to Black women, we aren't allowed to have that freedom to be ourselves and have our own sexualities, especially on social media. I've literally had girls who will feel bad because they don't have a big butt, and I'm like, having a big butt wasn't a huge thing until recently. It wasn't a huge thing until 8 years, not even 7 years ago, that's when the big butt craze blew up. Because before, if I recall correctly, it was all about having a flat ass. I still, till this day, I still remember white girls crying to me because they had a big butt. They didn't. But white girls would cry about having a big butt. Now everyone's trying to go to Miami to get a BBL. Make it make sense. The same things that you made fun of me for when I was really young is the same things that now you're paying for. Y'all are weird. Y'all are very, very weird. Again, being Black is an aesthetic. It's a lifestyle. It's my life. It's not my lifestyle. It's my life. It's a person. So y'all need to cut that out. But anyway, so the worst part about the media perpetuating this idea that Black women look a certain type of way. or that Black women are meant to look a certain type of way. It's really fucked up our mental being. Like, scientifically, it's literally fucking us up. For one, our rates of heart disease, obesity, and mental illness are sadly much higher than our non-Black female counterparts. And we die of breast cancer at a higher rate as well. According to Self, Black women generally report more frequent feelings of sadness, hopelessness, and worthlessness, and the sense that everything is an effort more than white women do. Yeah, so not having a representation of how all Black women look, not just light-skinned Black women, not just biracial women, not just women with big butts, but all Black women look, is really fucking up Black women as a whole. In case people didn't know, another fact is that Black women report anxiety and depression higher than any other race. Black women, we are the top race. It's not even a great like top to be in. We're literally at the top of the category when it comes to anxiety and depression because of the fact that we don't see ourselves represented as a whole in media. We don't see ourselves, we don't feel like ourselves, and it's just like, but yet people think that perpetuating this idea of a Black woman is meant to look a certain type of way is okay. It's not. Like, it's literally killing our Black women, and it's not okay. You know what I mean? Like, literally, it says that self-hate is becoming an epidemic within Black women. And it's so sad because I know that feeling. I feel like every woman has had their sense of insecurity, but Black women especially, we know that feeling of, I don't feel worth it because I don't look a certain way. I don't feel worth it because I don't see myself on TV. Like, we know that feeling. We know how it feels to be insecure about our 4C hair. I know, because I have 4C hair. I love her now, but back then, I hated her. She's so difficult, as any 4C hair would be. But I didn't love my hair. I definitely did not love my body. I hated it because it was just overly sexualized. Like, I did not like my body because it was overly sexualized by Black men and other men around me. I didn't get to see someone that looked like me on TV. And it's sad to say, but I remember all throughout my high school life, I was depressed. In fact, I go back and forth between depression, honestly. Anxiety, child, me and anxiety like this, we see eye to eye. Like, these are the effects of having this depiction that Black women look a certain type of way, and it's a one-size-fits-all type of thing. Like, it's not. Like, later on, I'm going to speak about how Hollywood represents Black women. Hollywood, Black women are not just light skin, okay? There's dark skins as well, and we face our own struggles. Stop whitewashing everything and putting a light-skinned face in front of every story that revolves around Black women. Cut it out, it's not cute. And like, going back to like the origin of the depiction of Black women, the first encounter, right? The first noted encounter, white Europeans locked into the racial ethnocentrism of the 17th century saw African polygamy and tribal dances as proof of the Africans' uncontrolled sexual lust. Europeans were fascinated by African sexuality. The English colonists accepted the Elizabethan image of the lusty Moor and used this and similar stereotypes to justify enslaving Blacks. That's literally the beginning origin of Black women being sexualized, because a white guy came to our culture, didn't understand our dances, and used that to sexualize us. Like, till this day, I remember being in Australia, I had a discussion with one of my white friends, I guess I'll call him. And it was me, him, and one of my friends, Carol. She's also African. And we were just sitting down, like, I was making him dinner, and we were just sitting down talking. And me and Carol were talking about our culture and how, like, now it's like when any black woman like moves her hips, it's looked at as, oh, you're twerking. It's like, no, if you're African, like that's just part of the culture. Like that's, I would remember like doing those dances as part of like, you know, festivals. Like those are just natural dances that we did because we were African. And Africans, and I study this, Africans, when it comes to African dancing, we use our feet and we use our lower body a lot. That's the main, like if you ever want to get the base of African dancing, know that your lower body will be working out, baby. And to have him look at those dances, and I remember him saying like, oh, but she's just twerking. I'm like, that's disrespectful because it's not twerking. That's the westernized lens of it. Oh, it's twerking. But in reality, no, it's not. We're not twerking, we're dancing. To some people, that's how they praise their gods. That's how they welcome new life and they celebrate life. It's not twerking. You know what I mean? And I just feel like it's just that ignorance of a white man came to an African culture and didn't bother to ask, oh, what is this? Because, you know, white men, they like to, I know it all, like to mansplain. And it's like, no one thought to ask like, hey, what is this? What does it represent? And because a group of white men did that and use that as a logic to enslave Africans, saying that we couldn't control our sexual wants. If I recall correctly, we're not the ones that raped and killed entire communities. But I digress. You know what I mean? And I just feel like it's sad that like that's the origin, and it's even sadder that it hasn't changed. Like, let that sink in. It hasn't changed. So I don't, anytime someone says, oh, you always bring up slavery, I'm like, because slavery still has an effect on everything that we do, especially on the aspects of Black women and the way we're viewed. Like, we literally are not allowed to be free to have our own sexuality. Meanwhile, a white girl can, a Latina girl can, any other race can have a certain freedom of sexuality. But Black women, we only have one. And that's either be sexualized and be sexy and have a big butt, or you're not Black enough. And that's fucked up because that's really messing up our like mental and physical wellness. To make you guys understand how deep this problem is, like they didn't just over sexualize grown Black women, they sexualized Black children as well. That's why I said like it's an issue all around. Like it wasn't just, oh well, she grown. No, it was also little babies that got sexualized. Look, an analysis of Jezebel images. If you don't know what the Jezebel is, it's basically a lighter complexion woman who is expected to be sexy. She's normally mixed. It's similar to like the tragic mulatto in a sense. The Jezebel is very sexy. Think of your Foxy Browns. That's a Jezebel. Okay? Black woman, by the way. It's a Black woman who's sexy. Jezebel. An analysis of Jezebel images also reveals that Black female children are sexually objectified. Black girls with the faces of pre-teenagers are drawn with adult-sized buttocks, which are exposed. They are naked, scantily clad, or hiding seductively behind towels, blankets, trees, and other objects. A 1949 postcard shows a naked Black girl hiding her genitals with the paper fan. Although she has the appearance of a small child, she has notable breast. The accompanying caption reads, "Honey, I'm waiting for you down south." The sexual innuendo is obvious. Y'all see what I mean when I say it's a problem? You see what I mean when I say it's a problem, the image that Black women have in media? This is how we're represented. Even as children, we're already meant to be sexy. Yo, it's Black History Month, and we gotta do better, fix stuff. We gotta change stuff, honestly, because I don't know about you, but I'm tired, especially Black men. Like, I need you guys to understand, like, when you have this preconceived idea or notion about what a Black woman is meant to be like, act like, talk like, walk like, dress like, it legit is just perpetuating the slave mentality. I'm gonna say it again. It's perpetuating a slave mentality. You're perpetuating the white man's idea. So, it's Black History Month. Y'all gonna change it or not? That's the question I'm gonna leave you with. Are you gonna change it? Or are you going to keep seeing every Black woman as like a sexual object for you? Y'all let me know what y'all thought about this episode today. I kind of made it relatively shorter. Remember guys, please come to the BB Live panel this Sunday at 7 p.m. We will be discussing this, and I feel like my friends, we're gonna have a lot to say about this topic for sure. We got some things to say, so please come to the live panel to get that information. Again, comment down below, share, like, let me know what you guys think. And remember guys, follow me on social media as well as follow the show. And I will catch you guys next week. Enjoy the rest of your day.